It's hard to overestimate the importance of artillery in modern warfare. Artillery has excellent firepower and can inflict massive damage on the enemy. It can be used to destroy military equipment and manpower, destroy defense structures, and disturb the enemy's logistical operations far behind the front line. Since the beginning of the full-scale war, the Western Allies have transferred a lot of modern and effective artillery to Ukraine. Check out some of them in the video.
We are about to witness a Ukrainian artillery unit using a French-made self-propelled artillery system HIMARS. This is a very rare and exclusive footage because the Ukrainian side is trying to keep the guys' work secret due to the high interest of the Russian forces.
This sophisticated artillery system is quite easy to handle. The unit arrives at the position, enters coordinates, fires the gun, and changes positions before the Russians strike back. The men receive coordinates from air reconnaissance. A Polish-made Fly Eye spots a Russian Tunguska designed for shooting down low-flying aircraft, helicopters, and UAVs. They track it and pass the coordinates to the men on the ground as soon as it stops moving. The French Caesar does the rest.
All in all, it took 2 minutes to arrive in the position, load the gun, shoot it, and then load it back. Very fast and very efficient.
It's Caesar. Well, it's highly maneuverable and can shoot far, which is important. You can repair it easily too. We use it a lot, so it's good that we can repair and keep it up ourselves.
To provide the artillery with new targets every day, the Fly Eye unit soars high over the enemy's territories. However, it's not an easy job, as Russians use their signal intercepting systems, known to be extremely hard to avoid.
But what helps Ukraine withstand against prevailing Russian forces is new generation of more fast and precise weapons like what you have behind me, the mighty Panzerhaubitze 2000. In the summer of 22, soldiers of the 43rd Brigade underwent 40 days of training in Germany. The intention was to help them switch from Soviet peonies to modern self-propelled howitzers, the Panzerhaubitze.
It's easy. After working on Soviet machinery, this is like driving a Mercedes. After Zhiguli, I got into a Mercedes.
Alexei is a howitzer commander. As an artillery enthusiast, it was a dream of his to simply just see the Panzerhaubitze somewhere in a museum. But he certainly never imagined that he'd be working with one a whole year into the full-scale invasion.
The first time I fired it in Germany at the training field, it was like sex. I was like, man, I fired a PZ-2000. I couldn't have dreamed of that. For me, it was something unbelievable.
Panzerhaubitze is superior over its counterparts in many ways. With heavy modern armor and isolated ammunition storage, it provides safety and confidence to its operators. Alexei says that they can spend days in the armored vehicle in combat positions. This howitzer can perform any artillery task that exists today. Its automated systems of ammo feeding and GPS targeting allows it to work at least 10 times faster compared to the Peony. Because of that, here in the Bakhmut direction, the Panzerhaubitze mainly works with counter-artillery fire.
3 shells are fired in 10 seconds. At the moment they all hit the target, I'm already gone.
Despite its many advantages, the highly complicated systems of Panzerhaubitze do need a lot of maintenance. They were never tested in such rough conditions, shooting from 60 to 100 rounds a day. Still, such weapons prove to be a great advantage over Russia's Soviet tactics. They are being put to good use by the 43rd Artillery Brigade of great power, which continues to liberate Ukrainian land, meter by meter.
We will occupy fronts stretching hundreds of thousands of kilometers, with armies of millions. This is the concept that the Russians still have. They want to flatten everything in sight with huge hordes. On the other hand, we are accurately destroying their artillery and manpower.
Behind me is the Archer, the most automated self-propelled howitzer there is. It is one of 8 Archer systems delivered to Ukraine by Sweden, and it has finally arrived for the first real battle test in the harsh conditions of eastern Ukraine. Let's see what the crew has to say about it.
Before our training trip, my friend told me this was the best thing in artillery that was ever invented. And now I realize he was right. This is a very technologically advanced machine. It may very well be ahead of its time.
We can rely on Yuri's words. Just like his crewmates, Yuri has been an artilleryman since the start of the full-scale war, giving him 2 years of active combat experience. Most of this time Yuri spent fighting as a gunner of a D-20, a Soviet-taught howitzer produced since the 50s. It features zero automation. It's literally the hammer of the artillery world, and in that sense the Archer is a complete opposite.
It is very maneuverable. The deployment time is 30 seconds. This is the best indicator among self-propelled artillery systems. I believe that the Archer is a sniper howitzer. It hits straight on target, not aiming in squares, but directly into it, literally in 1 to 2 shots.
In a way, switching to the Archer for this crew was like learning a new language. One of the requirements for an Archer's gunner position is an office classic, moderate computer skills. But it's not just the crew who had to go through a 2-month express course. Out of around 100 soldiers, 70 were engineers who had to be prepared to maintain these complex systems. Yuri's favorite feature is the automation. The crew doesn't have to leave the armored cabin when on a mission at all. Theoretically, it could be operated by just one person. That, as well as the 30-kilometer range with a standard shell, makes it a state-of-the-art system.
Ukraine relies heavily on modern howitzers like M37s to suppress the enemy and provide cover for its own troops.
So today we are working with the 45th Brigade. This is the artillery unit who are working with the M37s. They are covering the infantry units. We're advancing in the direction of Klishchiivka, the nearest village to the Bakhmut. Скільки ви за день можете відстріляти?
200 to 250. That's a whole day of work. If you maintain the gun, it does not fail. Each howitzer has fired tens of thousands of rounds.
Постріл!
А що це за снаряди?
107s, fragmentation, or you can switch to high explosive. We use them for infantry.
Після того, як ти отримуєш координати, що тобі треба зробити, щоб підготуватись до пострілу?
We enter the angle to understand how high to raise the barrel. We have a bubble meter that we use to set the level, and we have an angle meter. We enter the angle, and through the sight, we aim at the collimator and rotate the gun accordingly.
Despite its precision and great range, the M37 is quite a large towed howitzer, which makes it easy to spot by Russian drones.
Russian airborne assault troops are stationed over there, and they are quite well trained. If they open fire on us, it is with large caliber systems, or MLRS.
Ми бачимо сітки наварені.
We use them to protect the gun from Russian suicide drones. It's quite effective. Some guns were not damaged at all, some had minimal damage.
The first howitzers to arrive in Ukraine were used to liberate the Kharkiv and Kherson regions. They also played an important role in the Vuhledar direction, where Russia tried to advance with large forces this winter, but suffered significant losses.
As we can see, it's vital for the crew to hide the gun directly after they fire it, because there are too many UAVs from the enemy side that will be searching for this exact gun within the seconds.
Behind me you have the M109A6 Paladin. A6 Paladin howitzer, and the crew of this cannon now uses the cluster munition provided by the United States. So we went out to find out how it affects the battlefield.
The M109 Paladin is the US Army's primary tool of indirect fire support. With standard shells, it's already a powerful weapon. So why does Ukraine need cluster munition? The answer is simple: it's effective. The enemy horde is just too big. Clusters are the best way to target an area with no need to hit each and every infantryman.
Let's imagine a scenario. The drone detects, for example, some kind of armored personnel carrier moving along the tree line. While they're still driving, we are already rolling out the howitzer and charging it. As soon as they stop somewhere and the enemy infantry rushes from the vehicle with guns and ammunition, we shoot at them. Our cluster munitions are used for their intended purpose. They are used in areas where it is confirmed that there are no civilians, that there is only either military equipment or military personnel.